Now, here's the question. Right here, I was having trouble figuring out how to make it clear that he's staying in a closet. And the one thing I could think of is a hotel closet in particular, that's an ironing board behind him. But that's not great. I am actually going to take a moment. No, I shouldn't do that. I was going to look it up online, but I currently have Google Chrome closed because it is a power hog, and I didn't want everything lagging. I think the trick is going to be to zoom out a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be a little bit fancy. Oh, don't do that. I'm going to take you, copy, paste. Actually, do it inside just so I'm dealing with less of the border stuff. Rasterize. Turn off that. And now I've got something I can resize. I think that is all the change I'm going to need, because now I can have the bar with the hangers right above them. Let's do that. Going back to conventions for a moment, one thing I did also want to bring up is I am in the process of planning my post-con wrap-up report. And this is something I did last year, and I really liked it. And I intended to do it again. And what this is it is my summary of how I did at various cons, whether I will be, if I was financially successful, if I'll be returning, if given the opportunity, and a few other things like that. And it is one of the few things that I release only to patrons. So I am in the process of planning it right now, since my con season is mostly over. It is a very good reason that you should consider supporting my Patreon, especially if you're interested in finding out about more cons in the Midwest East Coast area, because that's mainly my work based out of Ohio. So it's fancy. It's got molding on the bottom. Let's have the rack up here with a bunch of coat hangers. Do the coat hangers have stuff on them? Is that too much work? I think the far ones don't. Nothing says, you know what? None of these will. They're all those wooden-esque hangers, though, that you get in, that you see particularly in hotels. And maybe have, just so it looks more like a cosplay thing. No idea what this outfit is. I'm making it up on the fly. I do like the idea, though, that they're still using the closet for its correct purpose, despite shoving their friend in there. let's give it shoulder pads so it looks more costumey. Perfect. And now to draw him. You know, to make sure I'm doing him correctly, I'm going to do something a little bit fancy. Rotate the wrong direction. There we go. The first time I think you've seen me intentionally rotate. I've probably done it by accident because I actually do that a lot. You know, I'm glad I never had to stay in a closet. I did have to stay on quite a number of floors back when I first was doing the con scene as an attendee. I think it's a pretty common. You even get a pillow. Yeah, I'll let them have a pillow. That's a pretty crappy pillow. Get his legs in there. Let's turn that off, see how it looks. Cut it off right there. That is going to be perfect. I am actually going to do one slight thing to make it more perfect, because I know I said it's perfect, but it is not, in fact, quite perfect. Ooh! I did all of that on the wrong layer. Well, that is good to know. Here's what I'm going to do. Select all of you. Cut, paste. There we go. Transferred everything over to the layer it's supposed to be on. Crap. Where was I? What was I talking about last? I was concentrating on doing all this. I've said before, it's always tricky doing the this stage of the comic process and talking at the same time, because this is one of the thinkiest stages. That's going to be fine. With this, the pencils are done, by the way, so I should be able to think a little bit easier. But yes, it's always where it gets tough. This is part of why I'm planning to edit these a little bit more, because obviously a lot of what I was just saying was not particularly interesting, especially when I got quiet. The nice thing is, being that we're in inks, we're in the home stretch. The one other thing that has happened lately that is of particular note. Oh, two other things, come to think of it. First off, there is a recent exhibit that has gone up at the Wild Goose Creative. I need to look it up. I completely forgot about this and I didn't put it in the notes. I'm at an exhibit, Comics versus Art for the Gods Have Spoken. It's all about taking famous pieces of art that in this case related to mythology and putting a comic spin on them, like interpretations and things like that. Mine happen to be based on the great horror illustrator Stephen Gammell. I did a piece that is called Gammell's Saturn, which is based on Goya's Saturn devouring his children. Piece I am very proud of. I've been practicing with graphite wash, which is the technique that I believe Stephen Gammell used for the illustrations in Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, a fantastic horror series that is in fact being made into a movie right now. and I'm very excited to be a part of this. I wanted to do it last year, but I just got too busy and it ended up falling through. But I told Canada Keck, who runs it, who does Ruminera Comics, that I very much wanted to participate in this coming year if it was in any way doable. And thankfully, it was in fact doable. I missed the opening, which was a little disappointing because I had a con that was the same weekend as West Virginia PopCon. But it is still going for a little while. I'm hoping to stop by tomorrow if I can. That's going to be Saturday the 14th. By the way, happy Friday the 13th to everybody who you're probably seeing this in replay, so it's not Friday the 13th, but it is for me.